A she-wolf, a river, twin brothers locked in a deadly power struggle. This is how the story of Rome begins. Romulus and Remus, abandoned as infants, suckled by a she-wolf, destined for greatness. Romulus, ambitious and ruthless, slays his brother, establishing Rome on Palatine Hill in 753 BC. Myth, perhaps? A potent symbol of Rome's violent origins? Absolutely. From this bloody beginning, a city rose, a city of farmers, soldiers and senators, a city hungry for power, destined to leave its mark on the world. Forget kings, Rome chose a different path, the Republic, a system of governance, complex and often brutal, where power theoretically rested with the people. Well, some people. Patricians, the elite families, held sway in the Senate. Plebeians, the commoners, struggled for rights, their voices finding strength in the tribune. This wasn't democracy as we know it. It was messy, it was violent, it was prone to corruption, but it worked. For almost 500 years, the Republic flourished. It expanded its borders through conquest, its legions feared across the Mediterranean. But ambition, always lurking, was about to change everything. Enter Julius Caesar, a name whispered in awe and fear. A general, a politician, a master strategist. His victories in Gaul made him a hero, his legions fiercely loyal. He crossed the Rubicon, defying the Senate, igniting civil war. Rome trembled as Caesar seized power, becoming the dictator for life. Was he a tyrant or a visionary? History still debates. His reforms were sweeping, his ambition boundless, but his enemies, fearing his power, struck. On the Ides of March, Caesar fell, assassinated in the Senate. The Republic, already teetering, breathed its last. From the ashes of the Republic rose the Roman Empire. Augustus, Caesar's adopted son, emerged as the first emperor. His reign marked the beginning of the Pax Romana, a golden age of relative peace and prosperity. For 2 centuries, Rome flourished. Trade routes hummed, cities expanded, and Roman law brought order to a vast empire. But peace came at a price. Roman legions remained vigilant on the frontiers, quelling rebellions, expanding the empire's reach. The cost of maintaining this vast domain was high, and the seeds of future instability were sown. Section 5. Conquests and Victories, expanding the Roman reach. From the misty shores of Britain to the sun-drenched sands of North Africa, the Roman legions marched. Under the eagle standard, they conquered, they subjugated, they expanded the empire's frontiers. Victories against Hannibal in the Punic Wars, the subjugation of Gaul, the crushing of Boudicca's rebellion in Britain, these were the tales that forged the legend of Roman might. But every conquest brought new challenges. How to govern such a vast and diverse empire? How to integrate conquered peoples, appease their gods, manage their resentments? The Roman solution was often brutal, assimilation or annihilation. But the seeds of resentment, never fully extinguished, would eventually bear bitter fruit. Section 6. Emperors. From Augustus to Constantine, a mixed bag. The Roman Empire was a story of emperors, some good, some bad, some downright ugly. Augustus, the first emperor, a shrewd administrator, laid the foundations for centuries of imperial rule. Hadrian the Builder left his mark with magnificent structures like Hadrian's Wall. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, grappled with the burdens of power. But there were others. Caligula, the mad emperor, whose reign was a byword for cruelty and excess. Nero, who fiddled while Rome burned, or so they say. Commodus, more interested in gladiatorial combat than governing. These emperors, driven by paranoia, ambition, or sheer madness, sowed the seeds of the empire's decline. Section 7. Cracks in the facade. The empire starts to crumble. The 3rd century AD. The Roman Empire, once seemingly invincible, started to show cracks. Internal strife, economic woes, and relentless pressure on its borders. The empire was stretched thin. Succession crises, where emperors rose and fell with alarming rapidity, weakened central authority. The economy, burdened by constant warfare and lavish spending, sputtered. And then there were the barbarians. Waves of Goths, Visigoths, Vandals pressed against the empire's frontiers, driven by climate change, seeking land and plunder. The legions, once invincible, now struggled to hold the line. The empire, once a byword for order and civilization, was teetering on the brink. Section 8. The Fall. A slow burn, not a bang. Contrary to popular belief, Rome didn't fall in a day. It was a slow, agonizing decline, a gradual unraveling of centuries of power and achievement. The year 476 AD marks a symbolic endpoint. The last Roman emperor in the West, Romulus Augustulus, deposed by the barbarian general Odoacer. But the process had been centuries in the making. The Western Roman Empire, fragmented and weakened, dissolved into a patchwork of barbarian kingdoms. The Eastern Roman Empire, centered on Constantinople, would endure for another 1,000 years. But the Roman world as it had been was no more. Section 9. Legacy, the enduring mark of Rome. The Roman Empire may have crumbled, but its legacy lives on. Roman law, language, architecture, engineering, these legacies shaped Western civilization. From the aqueducts that still stand to the roads we travel, from the Latin roots of our language to the principles of Roman law that underpin our legal systems, Rome's influence is all around us. The Roman Empire may be a distant memory, but its story continues to fascinate, to inspire, and to remind us that even the mightiest empires can fall. The rise and fall of Rome is a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fragility of power, the inevitability of change, and the enduring power of human ambition, both for good and for ill.